I'll start by saying, how about that for Coogan out? Coogan it out. And I thought they did a good job of playing the game, and thought we had a 10-point lead there coming down the stretch, but Colorado is a good basketball team. Unfortunately, the schedule is what bit them. Having to start out with 3 games on the road is tough in this conference, and they just have not gotten their footing yet. They need that win. And to take us to the wire, Washington to the wire, Arizona State to the wire, on the road, that just tells you the character of their team. So the win for us just becomes huge. I've often talked about the growth potential of this team, and what I've meant by that is guys on that bench finding their games. Viante Daniels has been shooting like that every day in practice. He just hasn't done it in the games, and now here he comes. Can't say enough about Charles just relaxing and really finding himself and playing so well. But I still think there's more growth potential with us, just because we got Keith Langston sitting over there, who was our star in Italy, who's yet to find his game, and we just need to keep working. So to say we're there, nope, we still have work to do, and obviously with a big challenge ahead of us next week. But this was a huge win, just to come back from how badly we performed on Thursday. And I can't say enough about the students in the community to come back and support us. As badly as we may have let them down, we would not have won this game if that building wasn't on fire like it was. They gave us the energy down the stretch because we were really gassed. Some of those guys, the minutes they played, but I want to thank them for making sure, I do thank them for coming back to support us.
Is the difference between this year's team and past teams their ability to respond to a loss like Wednesday's?
Well, the first year, you got to realize you had 3 fifth-year seniors who had been through all this stuff that had opportunity. I felt like that team came at one point in time. They came and they were pretty good in some games. Last year's team, for the first time in my career, I had a team that never came. They never came together. We never felt like we got them over the hump for whatever reasons. This year's team came together in Italy, and they've had some tough games, some tough losses and everything, but they've never fallen apart. They continue to let us coach them. And the poise that they're starting to show is just about their character, the fact that they've not pointed fingers, they've stayed together, they have great chemistry, and when you do that, you grow teams throughout the course of the year. So this team is coming together to where they can handle themselves. So, 2 back-to-back weekends of just having incredible losses on a Thursday and Wednesday, and then bouncing back to have incredible games, I think it just speaks volumes about their character.
Viante's minutes have been up the last 4 games. What have you been seeing from him, and were you expecting him to have an offensive performance like this?
His minutes have been up the last few games because Charles was kind of off his game. So in being off his game, it's giving Viante a chance to play. I mean, I think coming out of the Cal weekend, he had 63 minutes, but only 1 bucket. And we talked about that this week, and he just flat out lit it up the last few days in practice, and I thought he performed extremely well. He is a tremendous shooter. But the thing I was proud of is he defended well also. So he gave us an opportunity to put points on the board and rest a guy like Ike and Malachi at key times in the game.
Is this the best win, signature win for this group of guys today?
For this group, I would say, I would have to say the Washington game on the road, because again, you're in an environment where there's 9,000-10,000 people over there sitting on top of you, and you got down in the game, and we had to hunt them down to get back in the game. But for this group at home, that is for sure. To be able to stay in the game, control the game, think you have a team pull away, lose control of the game, it goes in overtime, get down in overtime, regain your composure, and then close out the game in the fashion that they did it with their defense. 2 big stops on defense were just huge.
When's the last time you felt the energy like this in Beasley College?
I was saying we played Oregon a couple years ago when we beat them here. I felt that energy in the building. Obviously, if we can have any kind of success this weekend coming up, it sets up just 2 huge games for people to come out and enjoy the next week.
Viante may have emerged because Calcium was a lot of his game, but today you had all 4 guards working pretty well. For the way you want to play, how much easier is it when you've got 4 guys?
The focus of this game was to play as fast as we possibly could. That was the difference in the game. Our transition game, as you notice, Stanford, we didn't score a lot of points. Cal, we didn't. And obviously we didn't score a lot of points the other night in playing Utah. And the reason for that, those teams have stopped us and got us in the half court and got us playing zone, and we weren't defending them well enough to get out and get easy buckets. We changed up our tempo in this game, and I thought, again, to play as fast as we played and play defense the way we played it too was tremendous. So the speed of the game gives us an opportunity to play more guards. Yeah, that's why Connor didn't play as much. We still have another one sitting over there, Keith Langston, that can shoot it as every bit as good as Charles or Viante, and that needs an opportunity as well.
Connor came up huge late in the game. You called timeout with 10 seconds left when Ike was kind of getting stuck in the corner. What made you call that timeout? Because right out of that play, you guys set up Connor for a beautiful right hand up the glass.
Well, first of all, there's probably about 7 plays between the first half and second half, particularly in the second half, that I had to have some parenting moments with Connor, because defensively there were some lapses there. For him to take the chewing, sit on the bench, call his number in overtime to tie the game, it tells you again how much growth he has as an individual and how much trust and love I have in him to be able to do that. And then the timeout was called because we wanted to control our defense. So anytime you score like that late, we call the timeout to get Connor off the floor, put Robo back on the floor, and get a team on the floor that could switch. And I thought it caught them off guard to press them a little bit, switch a little bit. It really took them out of the play they wanted to run.
Were you ever concerned with the amount of minutes you were playing with Josh or Ike both getting over 40, or was it like the adrenaline getting them through it?
I'll say it again. In their case, they're 21, 22. So you young people have a lot more energy than us guys. So the minutes don't bother me because they can handle it. We don't wear them out in practice. The games kind of continue to condition them while they're playing in the games. I had a team at Oregon where we played 6-7 deep, and they were the same way, right to an Elite Eight, playing 35 to 40 minutes a game. So I don't too much worry about that. I really let them tell me when they need a blow, and I'm always questioning, do you need a minute? Do you need a minute? Do you need a minute? But you got to understand, there are between us and them in media, there's probably 16 timeouts in a game. That's a lot of stoppage in a game, as well as your fouls and loose balls, dead balls. They get opportunities to rest, so I'm not too worried about that.
There's a play where Charles had a step back jumper, kind of hit every part of the hoop before going. I think you said don't pull up or something like that. Can you kind of take us through that play?
There were 2 scenarios, either overcoaching or either he should have probably pulled it out at that time. That one, and luckily for us, it went in. I thought we could have pulled that one out and went in a little bit more. And then with a minute 56 to go, Robo shot. I told him to go ahead and go play, and we missed the shot. We got the lead. We probably should have pulled that ball out, milked the clock a little bit more. So to Charles's credit, I think anytime you play in a system that gives you that kind of freedom, he was feeling it, so we let him pull it. The only one I really wish he had have done with 7 seconds to go. That should have been to the hole, put the pressure on officials to call a call rather than shooting a 35-footer in front of your coach when he's yelling you to drive. But it all worked itself out.
As a coach, how rewarding is it to see your team leading all second half, they lose the lead, come back in overtime, and get the victory?
It's extremely rewarding, particularly here at our school, where that we've not had a lot of success, to see this team grow up, handle itself, not coog it, stay in there, dig out games, come back from bad losses, have the character to show up and play again, respond to coaching, teaching. But the most rewarding thing with this group is how they handle themselves. In coat and ties on the road, they're polite, they're gentlemen, but yet they play with a lot of fire. They love each other, they get along so well. They have grown up immensely since we put them together this summer, and that's the rewarding thing for me. The winning and losing takes care of itself. We're turning these guys into men, and they're responding, and that's really, really rewarding to me as a coach.